Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to our weekly Tuesday coaching. It is just me again, but we will have John back next week to join us for these weekly live coachings. For those of you who are new to the community, which I know we have welcomed a lot of new people into our group recently, every single Tuesday we come on here and do some free coaching to give you guys some value that you can take and not just absorb, but actually take action on right here, right now, start making a difference. So today, I wanted to talk a little bit about time hacks because this has been coming up a lot recently in conversations that I've had with individual agents, with some of my one-on-one clients, with people within our real estate mastery community, is talking a lot about time constraints. And I have this quote that I heard years ago that I absolutely love, and it helped me a lot because I had always been the entrepreneur that believed that you had to 100% commit more time in order to get more results, that your effort you put in was a direct result, was directly going to result in ultimately what you got out of that. And though a lot of times that can be true, and I'm going to break it down for you guys, there is this quote that goes, your success is not directly proportionate to your effort. And I think it can be argued both ways. When I first heard it, it made me stop and kind of listen. I heard it again. Your success is not directly proportionate to your effort. And so I was like, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. And what it means, the way that it really breaks down, is that so many people are thinking that they have to use just pure brute force in order to push their way to that next level of success. When in reality, sometimes in order to get to that next level, in order to really scale up your business, scale up your life, hit that new accomplishment that you set out to accomplish, sometimes it takes pulling back, scaling back in order to really see what kind of things are going on within your life or within your business. And so today I wanted to give you a quick little tip that John and I talk about a lot inside of real estate mastery, and that is the 3x5 method. So the reason that we really coined this phrase 3x5, and that means 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, is because it helps agents really wrap their head around how important it is to focus on the basics. Going back to the basics is always going to help you move into that next phase of success. And so often we're trying to reinvent the wheel, we're trying that new hot thing, when in reality, we have to stay focused on the things that are truly moving the needle forward in our business, truly progressing us towards the goals that we have set out to accomplish for ourselves. The other reason it's a really powerful concept to understand is because it also helps you realize that you don't have to just purely put in a massive amount of time in order to get the results that you're looking for. Now, this piece is one of my favorites because if you know anything about me, you know I am all about recapturing my time, being able to spend my time doing the things that I enjoy, that bring me joy, and not getting too bogged down in that. Now, am I the girl that loves to buckle down and hustle and have a long night working through stuff? Absolutely. I've had many of those days in my life. I've had many of those seasons of the hustle and the grind, but it's also important that you are creating time within your life to really do the things that you want to focus on, to be able to spend more time with your family, or whether it's a hobby or whatever it may be, you need to be able to have that freedom so that you don't become just like a slave to your business. And in real estate, we see that happen so often. Some of you watching this, whether you're watching live or on the replay, you may even relate to that feeling of like, oh my gosh, it feels like my business runs me instead of me running my business. And so we talk a lot about the 3x5. It's 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, in order to really help progress and move you closer toward the goal that you have set out to accomplish. So let me explain what that 3x5 really looks like. So hour one should be spent generating leads. Hour two should be spent calling people who you haven't talked to recently. And hour three should be focused on follow up. Now, those two are a bit different. This is number two, is more so like new relationships, new connections, people that you have never spoke to, ideally. So that would be new people. And then follow up, of course, it's going to be people that maybe you spoke with last week, last month, last year, or someone that you haven't talked to in a while. So let me break it down for you just a little bit more, because I know there's people that listen to this, or when we have this conversation with agents, sometimes they go, okay, well, I don't have, enough to do for a whole hour of generating leads. And so then you're kind of like, well, maybe I'll just spend 5 minutes. And though those 5 minutes are still going to help, I want you to really push to keep committed to those hour time blocks. And it doesn't always have to be one straight through hour. If you can't fit that currently into your schedule, you can break it up a little bit, but make sure that you're hitting those thresholds. So if you don't know what to do to generate leads for an hour, you could spend that time connecting with other vendors. That could be lenders, title reps. It could be other people who have contact with people that might want to buy or sell. So maybe that's a property manager, maybe that's an interior designer, maybe it's a wedding planner, a florist, whatever it may be. Hairstylist is a great one because they've got somebody sitting in their chair for quite a while. They're going to have those kinds of conversations with people. So build those relationships, connect with other vendors. Inside of Mastery, we teach about the 3 tiers of your vendors and of your connections. So definitely focus on those tier 1 people, which would be your lenders, your title reps, the people who are directly in home services that support real estate. You could split lead gen costs with another agent. You could door knock. You could circle prospect. You could connect with people intentionally on social and reach out to people, start conversations. You could host an open house. You could connect with the leads from your open house. You could search Instagram and Facebook for terms or hashtags like hashtag moving to Phoenix, or type that into the search bar in Facebook. And literally you will see people who posted a Facebook status about moving to Phoenix, and you can start conversations with them. So there is no shortage of ways to generate leads. You just have to get more curious, and you need to find a couple of those things I just mentioned, zone in on them, and use that hour a day, 5 days a week to focus on generating new leads. And set a goal for yourself. Depending on which of those methods you go with, or a different method, of course, that may change the number of leads that you actually get. If you're paying for lead gen with another agent, you may have a set number of leads you guys get each and every single month. If you're door knocking, there might be a certain amount that you can get done within an hour. Circle prospecting, how many dials can you make, that kind of stuff. So set goals for yourself so that you can really push forward towards generating those leads. Now we go on to what should you do in hour number 2, which is calling those people that you haven't spoke to in a while, or that you've never talked to. So what should you do if you're like, okay, well, I don't really have many people to call? One is you could get a list. There's RedX, there's Vulcan 7. Those are all places that you can purchase lead lists essentially to do some circle prospecting. They're also dialers, so you can use that service as well. Different pricing. Some of it starts literally at like $30, and you can get a list of people, whether it's expireds, FSBOs, pre-foreclosures, specific geo-targeting based on neighborhoods, and you can pull all of that data. So that's if you're going to pay for it, but get a list and start dialing those numbers. Or in some markets, you can have your title rep pull some of that information for you based off of neighborhood. It does depend on the market, so make sure that you're talking with, again, your vendors in your area to see if they can help support in that, but it is not uncommon that they have some sort of resource to pull that information for you. Another option is you could ask another agent in your market for their old or dead leads and discuss a deal if anything comes of it. So maybe that's an agent in your market, in your office, at your brokerage, on your team, but discuss calling some of the people in their database and position it as a really big value add, because number one, chances are they aren't calling them. So it means that those leads are getting communicated with first and foremost. Second of all, you negotiate a deal with them so that whatever percentages feel fair, if anything comes of it, that of course they're still getting money for that. So they do no work and still get paid on leads that have been just sitting in their database. And the other thing is it could help to actually make contact with a client or with a prospect or a lead if it's a new person trying to contact them. So maybe they have been dialing them. They've just never got through to this person after calling them for 15 months straight. It may help to have you alternate and call some of those as well. So don't be afraid to have those conversations with agents, but calling expireds, FSBOs. If you were hosting open houses, you could call and follow up with all of the people who attended or all of the surrounding neighbors and talk to them about that. And finally, number 3 is that third hour of your day, 5 days a week, should be spent doing follow-up. So who should you follow up with if you don't have people to call for an hour or to follow up with for an hour? Well, number 1, follow up with anyone from last week's list that you dialed. So all the things I just talked about previously, you should be following up with them as well. Obviously, if this is day 1 for you, you're going to need to follow up with some other people first. You could follow up with any prospects that you do have. You could connect with people in your sphere. You could follow up with people who maybe expressed interest or engaged with your posts on social media. You could follow up with people that you met at an open house or at a networking event. It's really even valuable to build connections and relationships with other real estate agents in your area. So that's an option too. You could follow up with the vendors that you want to work with and build those relationships deeper. See if there's anything that you can do to help them or what a good referral looks like for them, and just continue to build that relationship. I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to emphasize here through all of this is the importance of relationships. It makes such a massive difference when you actually invest in these relationships. I promise it will pay you out tenfold. So the point is, it comes back down to simple tasks. In each of these three categories, if you just said, okay, I'm gonna dedicate 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, that is not that much time to dedicate to your business. But if you said that you were going to commit to that and do that for the next 90 days, let's say September, October, November, you were going to do this 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, I promise you, your business will be 10x what like 90% of the agents in your market business looks like, because so many people simply lack the consistency. It is not just pure time that you've allocated to it. It is not just pure brute force that you've allocated to it. It comes back down to really focusing on the consistency over time, because it does all compound. And now I know a lot of this did have to do with calling. And that tends to be one of the things that a lot of people get afraid of, a lot of people are scared of. And so I wanted to mention that John and I actually have something coming up, very exciting. Our national call night is going to be on September 8th. So September 8th at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, that's 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. You can register for it. Drop the word call in the chat below or in the comments below. We'll have somebody from our team reach out to you. Make sure that you get all of the information to join us on that call night. That's going to be 30 minutes of training. So we'll take you through script work, how to overcome objections, how to be a master on the phone so that you're really maximizing those dials. There's going to be over $1,000 in cash prizes. There's all kinds of really cool stuff. So trust me, you want to be on our national call night on September 8th. So again, drop the word call in the comments below and we'll make sure that you get the invite. But that's all I got for you guys today. I want you to make sure that you make the most of your time. It is not about the amount of time as much as it is the productivity within the time that you've dedicated. So hopefully that was helpful. Make sure that you are extra productive this week, and we will see you guys next